What's up, everybody? Welcome to the All in All podcast, where we talk about everything from sports to the last book you read. I am one of the hosts. I am Mikey Gator, aka Jacare, aka Gator, also with my buddy.
Hey, I'm Jamal, aka Jammy, aka Cobra, aka Cobra Man.
All right, so before we get started today and tell you what we're going to talk about, we just want to give a shout out to our friends across the pond there at the Smart Plug the Smart Plug podcast. They gave us a nice shout out. They did a Money in the Bank review, I believe in episode 66 of them. I think they call it chapter 66. So you could find them at Twitter at the Smart Plug, and they're on iTunes, Podbean, all that good stuff. And just nice of them.
Thank you very much. Yes,
to say a nice word about us. I actually listened to them, the episode they shouted us out, and I agree with a lot of stuff they say. So give them a listen, and thank you guys.
Yeah, a lot of the podcast community needs to help out each other, and put out a word for each other's shows and such. Yeah, it helps out a lot.
Yeah, you guys know it takes a second or two. Some cooperation going on and collabs maybe in the future, but just quick shout out. So thank you guys at the Smart Plug.
Yes, thank you very much.
And so what we're going to talk about today is we're going to do a couple movie reviews, a couple DC animated movie reviews, which will be Batman Ninja, and then we'll go into Suicide Squad Hell to Pay, which just came out, and it is rated R, but we'll get to that later. So we're going to start with Batman Ninja here, and so what do you got to say about Batman Ninja, Cobra?
I enjoyed it. I think you did too.
I loved it.
It's up there for sure for animated DC movies. They did an excellent job. Something different. It was just something like I probably would never have thought of. Yeah.
It was just everything about it. Like, it's very very appealing to the eye.
Exactly.
Like the art.
Beautiful. And the ratings were mixed, but I enjoyed it. As Mike could tell you.
We both.
If you're a comic fan, you can tell
it was entertaining the whole time, and they jump right into it, and it was just, I don't really have a bad thing to say about the movie, honestly.
IMDb gave it a 5.7, Rotten Tomato gave it a 75%, and IGN, who really liked it, gave it a 9.7.
Yeah, so you could tell with those, probably if you're not into the movie or comics rather,
right?
Probably don't know what's going on. That's why you get such low scores on IMDb, because let's be honest.
They're mostly mainstream movies,
they don't
Oscar.
They don't
Emmys.
know what they're watching.
Yeah.
But so go off of IGN if you're a comic nerd, which is a 9.7, which is probably one of the highest rated
it's up there.
Animated movies they've had. But it's just the whole concept of it was I thought was pretty badass, and you've discovered some background info on it, which was kind of interesting to find out after.
Very interesting. The fight scenes were filmed with live actors, and then animation was created using that footage. So to have actual people, fighting, doing karate and such, and then getting the animation from that, I think that's very cool. I've never heard animation, a show or movie to do that. So
I
thought that was interesting. And then also, the development of Batman Ninja started in 2014. So think about that. Almost 4 years, It just came out. So think about that. So it's it took a while for to perfect the movie, you can say.
Yeah, and also on that, a quick little thing right after the movie on Twitter, I tweeted at Leo Chu, who was one of the, I believe, the writers for Batman Ninja, and I just said, this is my favorite animated movie, and he actually commented back and tweeted me and said, thank you, it was a fun project to work on. So, it was very nice of him, and if he ever hears this, Leo, you did everybody involved just did a badass job. So
really good. Yeah, it was kind of cool. But Really, really good. So the premise of the movie, Batman, along with a number of his allies and adversaries, finds themselves transported from modern day Gotham City to feudal Japan.
Yeah, which is again, I never heard of like a timeline story like this. This is different.
That's, right.
I believe they sell it as I think in the movie they actually say like you've heard all the Batman stories before, but you've never heard one like this.
So in the beginning, Mike can describe. I guess there was a fight.
So in the beginning, we were still kind of like settling down and sitting, getting our stuff ready to watch it. But Gorilla Grodd and Batman sort of get into this fight where pretty much it just ends with Gorilla Grodd throwing him into this like time warp thing.
Right, he throws him like through like a glass, or he throws him through the building, and then like they're falling. I guess Gorilla Grodd, excuse me, turns on his time displacement machine, which transports them.
Yeah, so Gorilla Grodd, he's always intertwined with like time and
time traveling.
Like I said, you saw this. I was kind of distracted in the beginning, but he gets thrown through this time thing, and long story short, they end up in Batman ends up in Japan.
Yeah.
And from there, he's kind of just like, what the hell's going on? How am I here? He's sort of like without his, setting, like his surroundings. So
then he finds doesn't he? Who does he first interact with? Doesn't he find Joker? Right.
Well, yeah, those ninja Jokers are around him.
The ninja Jokers. That's right.
Which again, they look awesome.
Yeah, they look really good. And he's like, where? Like he's kind of like, okay, I think I'm in Kansas anymore.
Yeah,
but
kind of like
and then you find out that Joker and Harley Quinn are there, and he's like, what? And he's just like, this is insane. And so he tries to attack them, and he gets away with help from.
Well, yeah, and then,
Catwoman.
Yeah, so he's he's like the shell, doesn't know where he's at. He spots Joker and Harley Quinn, who seem to be like the ruler of this, whatever they're doing, this area in Japan, and gets help from a unsuspecting ally, which is
Catwoman.
Yeah,
and then he finds out, I guess his technology isn't quite working, of course, offline and such. Yeah. That doesn't help. Then he's able to find out that, I guess, for a little bit of his technology, that all the villains are here, and then he's like, "Oh, they're all here," and then Catwoman explains.
Yeah, so it's basically just a time thing where it's happened. So in Japan, it's before everything. So what they're trying to do is go back and change the quote-unquote timeline. That's what Joker's trying to do, so he could end up as like the ruler of the ruler of everything, pretty much. And you discover as the story goes along that Batman's familiar foes in Japan, sort of, they each rule like their own like county or whatever, and it gets crazy. Like, it crazy.
They like rule their own, like almost their own territories.
Right. Yeah.
And you find out later on, spoiler, that this was a plan Gorilla Grodd had all along.
See,
Gorilla Grodd.
Actually, Gorilla Grodd would sound cooler.
Yeah. Is he from another show? I don't know. Anyway, so Batman comes up with an idea, but then you find out that I'm drawing a blank here. His butler.
Alfred's there.
Alfred's there.
Alfred's
Alfred's there, but with I guess his Batmobile. Yeah, he was able to bring his Batmobile and such.
Well, because Catwoman and Alfred sort of teamed up, and Catwoman, they always thought that like they would need it for a future, right? So she takes him to this, this lair, whatever, where there's Alfred, and he kind of we're gonna jump around a lot in here, so
just. But this connects. So he uses his Batmobile and drives over to Joker's, I guess, area, his lair.
Yeah.
Or his house. Or not house, but his, yeah.
And one thing real quick, I'll preference this by saying they all have they each have their own, like, fortresses.
Right.
So, like, Joker has his own fortress, Deathstroke, Two-Face, Poison Ivy, rather, and Bane, who, Bane actually looks like a sumo wrestler in this, and it looks kind of cool. It's, like, kind of funny.
Because he's a big guy, and then,
Yeah, he's got the whole sumo wrestler attire going on. Makes sense. But, yeah, so Catwoman wants to get back, Batman wants to get back. Catwoman just, introduces Batman to Alfred again and the whole Batmobile thing, and that's when, what you were saying, where Batman...
He drives over...
Yeah.
To pretty much infiltrate Joker and Harley, and Joker is ready for him. And he barely escapes with the help of finding out Robin... Red Robin and
Nightwing.
Red Robin, and Nightwing
and Red Hood
are there, and then they tell him Red Hood's out here on finding out more intel, and the Robins, or you could say, have help from what's the gentleman's name? Eon, which has a Batman clang, so they got.
Yeah, so Eon, you find out going through all this, Gorilla Grodd is sort of in the background, and they're like, where's Gorilla Grodd? You find out later that he has some type of plan to control everything to make it his, like, own, right? So when Batman goes up to infiltrate Joker, it's, in the classic Batman Joker, Batman he's in fight or flight mode, and he can't escape. There's no route for him to get out of. And that's when the Bat Clan, so to speak, shows up, involving all the Robins. And the leader of the Bat Clan is this guy, Eon, who, in the movie, he has a quote, and I think I remember it. It's like when a country is in chaos, like a foreigner will show up representing the Bat or something, or a guy will represent the Bat symbol and sort of save the country.
Yes.
This guy Eon, they all get together, and classic Batman story. They try to figure out a way to take down the Joker, and they get him out of there. Pretty much.
But then Batman decides, let's go talk to Grodd.
Try to convince Grodd, or find him, rather.
To find him, right. He finds him and says, hey, let's take down Joker. I got a plan. Let's take down Joker. And Gorilla accepts. And so they go, I guess, by sea, which is kind of cool. And
one of those, like, old modern day, like, battleship type of things.
Yeah.
Where, like, Joker and Harley Quinn are on.
Right. And Gorilla's like, he sees Joker and he's like, you gotta go, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what about our plan? And he's like, where's Batman? And he's like, I got him right here. And he shows him Batman, and then he finds out that, he thinks that the ninjas are underwater, but they're not.
Yeah.
And Joker's like, what? You side with Batman, blah, blah, blah. And then they go fight and try to take out Joker, and then they find out.
Well, then I forgot what happens. Like, there's a huge explosion.
Yeah, and there's other boats from the other villains.
Yeah, like
Two-Face. Yeah.
And, so there's this big battle, I guess, and
Gorilla Grodd ends up double-crossing Batman. And, then Joker and Harley are I guess, well, he tells, Robin and them to leave. He's like, I'm going to stay here and try to get Joker. And he almost dies.
Yeah, and because there's, like, these things, I forgot what they call them in there, but each of the villains have one. It's like that crystal, a purple crystal.
Yes, it's part of the time machine.
Yeah, so...
In order to, like, do the time machine, they need them. I believe they need all of them.
Yeah, so each like villain has one, and of course Harley Quinn ends up in the hands of it when this whole boat thing's going on, I believe. And there's a huge.
Well, that's when I think Catwoman also she backstabs Batman at that point so she can leave.
Well, yeah. So what happens is
that later on. No, that happens there.
I think that happens around the same scenes.
Yes.
Catwoman goes.
And then Gorilla Grodd, she's like.
Well, she tries to make a deal with Gorilla Grodd, like, yo,
he'll let me go home. Yeah.
Yeah. So get me that crystal from Harley, and that's like the final crystal that he'll need at the. We're jumping around, but that's sort of towards the end, and yeah, she ends up trying to. She basically double crosses Batman and Alfred in that sense, and after the explosion on the boat. Red Hood discovers, this is actually one of my favorite scenes in like any DC related thing,
where they think that they're dead, but Red Hood finds out,
Red Hood finds them.
Two people that look like Joker and Harley.
Yeah, and this is, this is one of the only times. I mean, I think in the Killing Joke, you see him without his face paint, but. This is like an up close, several minutes of Joker without his face paint. Red Hood finds them. Yeah, he finds Joker. They call him Lord Joker, and Harley, sort of like running this agricultural farm thing off of this like little hut.
Right.
And he goes there and he's like, "You're the Joker," and he starts beating. He beats the shit out of Harley Quinn and Lord Joker. And Batman, comes to the rescue in a sense, and he's like, and Red Hood and him
before he kills him,
Red Hood and him are going back and forth, and Red Hood's sort of like, "Yo, this is Joker, it's Joker, like you don't get it, it's Joker," and Batman's like, "I don't believe it, man, like that's it's a broken man."
Yeah,
that's these aren't the Harley Quinn and the Joker that I know.
And then he said, if this is them, their minds are far from being Joker and Harley.
Yeah, so this is like layers on layers on layers here, but as Red Hood and Batman are sort of like leaving the scene or ending the scene, Harley Quinn is like screaming in joy because one of their plants have finally sprouted. And what that plant does is Joker gets one whiff of it, and it sort of hypnotizes him back into the Joker. And then you see that big smile and that big grin.
Right.
And you're like, oh, shit.
He kind of explains it later.
Yeah. He basically tricked himself into becoming the Joker again.
Right. Which is like... Which is crazy.
Genius. And while you're watching it, while I was watching that scene, I was like, I don't know, maybe Joker isn't the Joker. Like, he does look like
he's just a...
he's just a normal guy now.
Yeah.
With his wife.
Yeah.
And especially after Red Hood, he smacks the shit out of Harley Quinn. But yeah, so then he gets a whiff of that. I think maybe it's a cherry blossom, I'm not sure.
I think you're right.
And so then he becomes Joker again, and we're back to square one. Pretty much, where Batman's got to go back in there. He's got to find Gorilla Grodd. He's got to find Catwoman because now they've double crossed.
Right, but now he has But now Batman, after failing twice, he realizes, hey, I'm over in this time. I got to use what I got. I'm a smart guy.
Yeah, no gadgets.
No gadgets. No nothing. So he turns into Batman Ninja and basically has a sword and uses smarts to adapt to his surroundings and try to pick up a plan to take him down.
Yeah, and while like throughout the whole movie, the Bat Clan is this guy Eon and the Robins and the Red Hood and all that stuff. They're trying to convince him that like he's the savior. And you're
and
the
Batman's
guy.
Like, no.
And he's like, dude, I don't even have my technology.
Right.
How am I the guy?
Right.
And one thing, this is a little off topic, but one thing that I want to point out is Robin has like a monkey with him.
Yeah.
Who I think is one of the coolest characters. But we'll talk about that in a minute here. So Batman finally accepts that he's going to be the savior and everything.
Right.
And the Bat Clan and him and Nightwing and all those guys devise a plan to finally screw it, we're going after Gorilla Grodd, we're going after Joker, we're taking this whole thing down. Yeah,
right.
We got to go back home.
Right.
And this is where the movie really picks up.
Right,
Because
exactly.
now you get all your like action and fight scenes and all the good stuff and like the juice.
It's like a month later because I guess they get ready and all because also
Several parts.
Gorilla Grodd has a plan and he's talking to Catwoman. Catwoman's like, "Hey, I want to go home. You promised me to go home." Yeah. He's just like, "Not right now."
He's
because
like, psych.
Yeah, exactly, psych. There's another part to this that I have to complete, and she's just like, "Dang." But it's funny because they have a quote here. I love. Catwoman goes, "Isn't like Gorilla Grodd's like eating a banana," and throws it out, and she goes, and Catwoman goes to him, "Isn't a gorilla eating a banana a little cliche?" Question mark. And Gorilla Grodd goes, says the cat burglar wearing a cat costume.
Yeah, which
I loved it.
Yeah, which is a great quote. Just one of those like comedic things that DC always throws in there.
Yes.
And then
great writing.
And then Gorilla Grodd. This is where it gets crazy. Gorilla Grodd is sort of on this like mahjong table.
Yes.
Or like he's got like 4 pieces and that basically mind control with the crystals.
Right. Because each villain from each, I guess, territory, Deathstroke, Two-Face, Penguin, Poison Ivy, they all have like their own machinery, like giant machinery fortress, to attack. And basically, he takes over their minds and to try to become one big, as you find out, attacking freaking robot thing.
It's very similar.
Insane.
Yeah, it's very similar. So the fortresses you find out randomly, turn into like almost human or like replica robots. Like the Joker has these huge hands coming out of his.
Right.
And Gorilla Grodd connects all of these pieces finally.
Yeah, kind of like a Megazord and like Power Rangers.
Yeah, and it turns into almost like a Transformer, Power Ranger, Dragon Zord thing.
Dragon Zord.
He needs Bane's Fortress.
Insane.
It's sick. It's absolutely it's so cool. The art and everything. And, it becomes this huge thing. Like his arm is a fortress of Two-Face, and the chest is like the fortress of Bane, and then. The head is the fortress of Joker, which the artists for this and the design and like you said, the live action role play game. I mean, it's just
they're actually inside it, controlling it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so we're getting to the getting to the end here, where Batman's like, "How the hell am I gonna fight this big ass Dragon Zord looking thing with Joker, Bane, Poison Ivy, and Gorilla Grodd's controlling the whole thing?"
Because Batman and Robin and the
Bat Clan,
Bat Clan, you can say, they're all flying in on almost like a glider kind of deal.
Yeah.
And they see this and they're just like, "Oh shoot, what are we gonna do? Let's just go at it." And then
the monkey tells Robin, right? He whispers something in his ear.
Yeah, whispers in his ear like, "Yo, hey," he's like, "Hey,
let me get that flute.
Let me get you." Well,
the Gorilla
Grodd,
yeah. So
Gorilla Grodd, we jumped over a part. Gorilla Grodd, he tries to, with the Mahjong board, tries to. He gets like each character or each villain onto the last piece, and then out of nowhere, guess who comes back?
Randomly.
Joker and Harley in a balloon. Excuse me, in an air balloon, and comes over.
Yeah, and they drop like stink bombs.
On
the fortress.
Gets in there. Takes out Gorilla Grodd and Catwoman, and knocks him out, and he takes over the whole fortress, and I guess Batman comes in and saves both of them, You remember Batman saves both of them.
He saves Girl Gorilla.
Catwoman's like, all right, I'll help you guys. And they're like, and Batman's like, sure. They're like, you're really nice, blah, blah, anyway. Which was kind of ridiculous. But anyway, because that's how Batman is. He's just a very forgiving person.
Yeah.
And so Gorilla goes, hey.
Like Gorilla Grodd's like laying on a rock and he's like knocked out pretty much. He's on his like last breath.
On his last breath, yeah. He's like, hey, use this. It'll work.
Yeah.
I'm not backstabbing or anything. Here, use this. And he gives him a flute. And
he's like, use my monkeys or whatever.
Use my army of monkeys.
Yeah.
So he plays the flute.
Who plays the flute?
Robin does, right? Or the monkey. The monkey does.
Yeah.
And then
the monkey literally is like, yo, let me get that flute. And then
he knows how to play it. Something like that.
Yeah, something weird like that. And then the monkey basically starts playing a flute, and then they start playing this tune, which is, you discovered the tune.
Which I discovered, when Robin, it says when Robin plays the flute.
I think they play it together.
They play it together, something like that. I believe they play it together, yeah. The flute with the two little monkeys. Okay, yes, with the two little monkeys. In an attempt to take down the Joker, the tune is actually the opening part of the 1966 Batman theme, so...
Yeah,
figure.
A little trivia there.
Which
again, you go back and watch these things,
Yeah.
That's our team mascot barking, or, growling at the door there. But yeah, so they play the flute, and then literally out of nowhere, there's like probably, I don't know, 1 million monkeys or something like that. And they're all together, and it's like, okay, cool, here come these monkeys. Now we have the Bat Clan and this like monkey army to fend off against and try to take down the Joker, because obviously the Joker's now running the Dragonzord thing. And the monkeys actually come up with a pretty good idea to counteract this Dragonzord thing.
Right. They all come together and like form like a big, it was like on their own big monkey or something. Yeah. And try to take them down, and
they're just like they just form like one on top of the other, like zillions of monkeys like just packed together, and like they create a big ass monkey.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like the Joker throws fireballs, and you see like birdie, like birdie monkey. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So they're just like, because at first they were able to like make a hole and it would just go through, but then they weren't able to like block all the hits by the Joker, and
they start taking some damage.
Yeah, they start taking some damage, and like then what's his name comes over.
Oh yeah, and then
on his horse and with the other ninjas.
Yeah, so then Eon comes in on his horse, obviously with the Bat Clan. And Batman is like, all right, let's go get these guys. And while the monkey's fighting the big Joker Dragonzord transformer thing, I don't really know what to call it.
Yeah.
The bats sort of join forces with the monkeys.
With the monkeys, yeah, and to become an actual Batman, and
like the original,
like the original Batman,
like the gray one.
Yes, the gray one, and like. From the original series, from the Detective Comics series, and to fight this big old thing, it was crazy, but it was awesome.
Dude,
it was like insane.
It was so badass. And
it was.
You get in a weird way, you get your classic like Batman vs Joker,
right?
But in a completely different
atmosphere. It's insane.
So you got bats and clans. I mean, bats and monkeys form a
Batman,
basically a huge Batman to fight a huge
Macy's
Joker.
Day Parade float Batman to fight the Joker's mecha mechanic house thing,
like an Optimus Prime Joker.
Yeah. And so the Joker that Batman takes out Joker, and Joker falls out, and Batman goes to capture Joker.
Yeah, Batman.
So they have
Batman leaves.
Fight.
Yeah, Batman leaves on his separate horse. Notices Joker's been whatever.
Right,
and he's
goes
like, I'm going after him.
Yeah, I'm going after him. While the other ones are like Robin and Red Hood, Red Robin. Yeah, they all go after each villain.
Yeah. So
to capture each villain.
Yeah, so as the Dragon Zord is sort of like defeated by the monkey and the Batman thing.
Right.
Yeah, the Bat Clan goes after each villain, which is, they do a quick little fight scene with each one of those.
Right,
and
just to take them down, to capture them.
Yeah.
So they can go back to Gotham.
And then, this is like, if you're a comic fan or whatever, and you haven't been paying attention to what we've been talking about, this is what you want. It's classic Batman versus Joker on a roof in Japan.
But this time, yeah, and this time, they got swords. It's crazy. It's such a great,
concept.
It's a great fight. The concept in general, too, is just... It's something different, We've seen the Joker versus Batman, but not like this.
Times, yeah.
But not like this. So.
And it's not like a 2-second scene.
No, it's
not.
Like
a pretty decent length. Batman and Joker.
Yes.
And there's twists and turns in the fight. You think Joker's winning, then you think Batman's winning.
Yeah.
And then, this is going to be a spoiler, but we discover that Joker sort of kills Batman. Right?
Right. As you think.
Well, as you think, and you're like, oh my god, Joker finally beat him, or won. And then you discover that Batman that he was fighting wasn't really the Batman.
It's it was confusing to me at first, yeah.
But,
it was crazy, yeah.
Yeah, just to summarize it, he kills Batman, kicks him off the roof. I think he kicks him off the roof, right?
Yeah, he kicks him off the roof.
Yeah, he stabs him, kicks him off the roof. And then, out of nowhere, here comes the real Batman. And, just continues the badass fight scene. And this time, Batman gets the upper hand.
Right. If you think, I don't know, maybe we saw it differently. Maybe he did go down, but, the bats floating back or something. I don't know. We'll have to... If you guys know, let us know. But that's how we saw it. It was a different Batman came out,
Well, yeah. I think it was a decoy Batman. But if you have another opinion or we missed something,
please let us know.
Yes. We're not trying to act like we know everything.
Yes, exactly.
But
perfect.
Yeah. So Batman pretty much takes down the Joker, and they get the time machine thing.
Yep. They then they go over, get the time machine thing, and
Yeah, pretty much, in a sense, all in all, that, wraps up the movie.
Pretty much, yeah, it wraps up the movie.
But from start to finish, it was great. Visually, it was great. There was different animations. It wasn't just a comic book theme all the way through. They had some still photo things going on.
You had still photos. You had CG. They had some computer,
graphics going.
just... And then with the regular animation, and then the interrogation scene with Red Hood, that they had some cool zoomed in photos.
Yeah, it almost looked like a flip book almost.
It was scenes. Really cool.
Just the whole Japanese art thing. I think obviously again credit to Leo Chu and
anime.
All
his, with a little bit of anime put in there. And stuff.
Yeah, it was just a good combination mix of the art and conceptual design, and
it was gorgeous.
I'm gonna be honest, I think this is my favorite animated movie.
Yeah, that's definitely up there with me too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I'd say I agree with IGN and a 9.7.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't, I'm not going to go give it a rating, but it was, if you're anything to do with comics and you're interested, this is your classic Batman vs. Joker.
Yeah, 5 stars.
This is a different concept. This is a different timeline thing. It's in Japan, ninjas, samurais. If that doesn't excite you.
Exactly. I don't know it will.
Yeah, so the next movie we're going to review is Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. But I just want to give a shout out to Domino's real quick. This is off topic. But I think either before or after we watched Ninja, we ordered Domino's and we discovered the whole Domino's hotspot thing.
Yeah, where it's kind of
cool.
Yeah, where
if you don't know about.
Yeah, you don't really need an address. I guess they have different spots, or correct me if I'm wrong, actual spots that say Domino's hotspots are around.
I think I saw on Twitter some people posted actual cemented in spots, a circle. It's as big as ceramic tile or something. That's just like stand on the spot, and that's a hot spot.
Because isn't it an actual like I don't know like a circle like thing that says hot hot spot?
Yeah, it's like
on the ground.
Yeah, it's like the size of like a ceramic tile, where it's like, and
That's
it literally
insane.
says Domino's hotspot. And they I guess they do it on beaches. They do it on like pool
Right,
areas.
where you can find like parks. They said
Yeah.
parks, beaches, middle of the woods or something. They said in the
Who knows,
commercial,
yeah.
like different stuff, like different places. Different places like that. I thought that was interesting.
Which makes you think like back to like the Ninja Turtle scene in the
Yeah,
original,
where-
where he's like, "Pizza dude's got 30 seconds."
Right, and they deliver it. He's like, "Oh, this is the spot." And he's like, he delivers it basically to
to sewer.
to a sewer. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's like, "Down here, man," or
we're
whatever.
just
he
like,
says.
I believe they just leave it, and he just like leaves the money around.
But yeah, now that scene makes sense.
yeah, now it does. At least for Domino's.
Yeah, so I don't know. You got some money, order some Domino's. Quick shout out to them. But
Yes, anywhere.
yeah, literally anywhere.
Literally anywhere.
All right, so the next movie we're going to talk about, another DC animated film. Who I think honestly, their DC animated films are top notch, or they're getting top notch, I should say. And what's the next? What's the next movie?
Suicide Squad, Hell to Pay. This is the second This is the second Suicide Squad. Try to say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, right.
Suicide Squad movie or animated movie to come out. I really enjoyed the first one, which was really, really good.
Assault on Arkham, I think.
Assault on Arkham, yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was really good. That's another one you should watch.
Yeah, check out.
You don't necessarily have to watch that one first and then this one. There's, it does have, what's his name? Deadshot.
Well, real
Who
quick,
was the first one?
do we have the scores? Do you have the?
Oh,
written down
yes.
the,
Yes, I do.
just to compare.
Yes, and for scores here, IMDb gave it a 7.1 out of 10.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 86%, and IGN gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
So before we get into the movie, just so you could see based off of like the scores from Batman Ninja and everything, this one IGN actually rated it lower than Rotten Tomatoes and
Right.
around the same score as IMDb, which was kind of interesting to me because usually, as you saw with the first one, the IGN nerdy type of comic people
Right.
scored it less than Rotten Tomatoes, which was
yeah.
was interesting to me because the movie's also rated R,
Yes.
which is like
This is their fourth DC animated rated R movie.
yeah. So we'll talk about a couple things that really made it rated R. Usually it's kind of just a couple curse words, but
Yeah, we get to it.
yeah, we'll get into that. But so Suicide Squad, same type of premise.
Right. Task Force X, as they're called, targets a powerful has to target a powerful mystical object that they'll all risk their lives to steal.
Yeah, and in this case, as we find out throughout the movie,
Right.
the mystical object is this. We'll start with it's this get out of hell free card,
Yes.
which is
That Waller.
that Amanda Waller wants.
Amanda
Yeah,
Waller wants, yes.
Just to piggyback off Amanda Waller, we have a skinny version of Amanda Waller, which
Yeah, she got the lipo.
which I don't know. I don't know if it was a good career move.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like the bigger one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
She was more menacing.
Yeah, like a little more powerful, a little more intimidating.
Vanessa Williams does the voice. She's okay. I mean, she's a great singer, an actress in her own. But as Amanda Waller, I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, so she puts, it opens up with a cool fight scene, a lot of blood, a lot of gore.
Well, right. And one of your favorite villains is shown.
Yeah, we get a cameo from one of my favorite characters, Mr. Black Manta.
Mr. Black Manta.
Who hopefully we'll get a lot of him in the Aquaman movie, but
Right.
we don't
In
know. We'll
upcoming
see.
movies, yep. And he is with another team, with Deadshot, on another mission in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then Deadshot finds out that they're double-crossing him. and he's kind of like, hey, he's the one that tells Waller, and they get blown up. It's secondary.
Yeah, it's minuscule to the whole story, but
it's just secondary characters. And so with this,
and then he's back
basically,
to square one again.
Deadshot is basically he's probably Waller's number one guy because he was the only one that she can trust from this mission.
Yeah, and Deadshot is voiced by one of our favorite guys.
Yes.
If you watch the show Mr. Robot, Deadshot is played by the voice of Christian Slater.
Yep.
Who I didn't even notice until a couple minutes into the movie. But he does a great job with him. The voice, it's believable, all that good stuff.
Yeah, he does a really good job.
But Deadshot is sort of the main character here.
Right, and this is their team. Is Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Killer Frost, Copperhead,
my favorite,
and Bronze Tiger.
So so real quick on them, Bronze Tiger, just think of it like the Black Panther sort of thing.
Right, he's karate
martial
guy.
arts.
Martial arts. He's
kind of not in the beginning. He has the same suit, but
who has his own story.
Yeah, Killer Frost. Just if you don't know anything, just think ice. Sub-Zero woman.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Boomerang, your typical. Just
he throws boomerangs.
Yeah, just English badass, smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, he's good with like boomerangs and anything like throwing bombs and stuff like that.
And then my favorite is again a common theme on here.
Copperhead.
We love reptiles, so Copperhead. He's sort of like the snake thing.
Yeah.
Copperhead snake.
And, shoots out.
He shoots out some acid from his fangs, and he's got this cool, long tail. He has arms and legs.
Right,
so
he talks.
He's not just a snake.
He has fangs also, but he talks.
And, yes.
I don't know if they're venomous, but he has acid.
So, Amanda Waller, skinny Amanda Waller, puts this team together, and that's the team.
They kind of don't know what they're getting into, but then they find out later that they're going to get that card.
Yeah, they get.
So she just tells them,
card.
"Hey, this is off."
She does the whole thing with the bombs. In
she tells them,
head.
who have the bombs in their head or whatever. Yeah,
Injected.
they have like this sort of injected.
Dude.
Yeah, the scientist puts in this thing into them, which they can't take out. It's literally in their skin, and when set off, it'll blow their heads off.
Blow your heads off.
So. Yeah, so they're on this mission, which Waller tells them it's off the books, and basically they're stripped of all their usual resources and gear, and are reduced to driving across country in an RV.
Literally an RV.
Which kind of amounts to a comedy road trip, but it was funny with a dysfunctional family of sorts, you can say.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
And so throughout this, they're kind of doing a side-to-side piece. They have what the hell's their names? Banshee and this dude Blockbuster are basically trying to kidnap.
Yeah.
Who's Killer Frost or anybody really?
Well, okay. This is what I got from comicsmix.com that did their review. They put it as, along the way, the team has to combat Vandal's daughter, Scandal, and Knockout.
Oh, right, okay. So let's see. So Vandal Savage is going to be sort of your big villain in this.
Right. So his daughter and his daughter's friend are trying to get it for his dad.
Yeah, so they want this get out of hell free card. Again, that's the whole premise of this. Get out of hell free card. Basically, you die. If you have this card, you're reborn or put on another timeline.
You go straight
or
to heaven.
Yeah.
You go straight to heaven.
Oh, yeah, you go straight to heaven. So, Vandal Savage has a daughter named Scandal, you said?
She is, Scandal.
So, Scandal is the female, X-23, I guess you could say.
Yeah, she has claws. She's very fast. She can fight. She almost looks like X-23. She has the same kind of claws and everything.
Yeah, and a fun little twist on a modern day here. She's a lesbian.
Yes, and her girlfriend is Knockout.
Yeah, who's basically they make a joke about it. They call her the Green Wonder Woman or whatever.
Right. She's tall. She's very strong. Yeah. She got excellent fighting.
Yeah, both of them are pretty awesome in the movie.
Right. And there's a scene. There's a scene where they're basically chilling, and
so this is what we're getting up to now. Of course, there's like some cursing throughout the movie. There's a lot of blood. They show a lot of blood, killing, heads blown off, all that good stuff. But this is
titty slip. You see some nip.
Couldn't wait, huh?
Nope.
Nope. I was trying to set it up.
I was shocked because I think it's a first. This is a first, I believe. If you can tell me another movie, please do animation. But
refer all your nip slips to at JammyC247 on Twitter. But
you've seen titties, upper body, upper part, bottom, whatever, and different ones. But
yeah.
You never see the whole thing and a nip
and an areola.
An areola. I was amazed, and you get a little vagina too, but like that's kind of shadowed out, so that doesn't count.
If you're not looking at it, you're not gonna catch it. You know what I mean? Like it's very quick. It's very subtle. They do show a lot of like ass and like basically everything but that, and then she's like in the hot tub. This is Scandal,
and they make it to a male strip club. So we'll get into that.
Yeah. So,
but for a rated R, yes.
Yeah. So
for a rated R rating, yeah.
So the scene we're talking about,
just from that, they don't curse a lot. They don't really curse
they
at
say
all.
Shit
they
like
say
4
shit
or 5
like
times.
yeah. But you can even like put that in a PG-13 movie.
So basically,
I think that's a rule. Sorry to interrupt you, but I think that's a rule anyway. You can say like
one
or
like
two curse words, but a rated R, I guess you can say shit as much. But I guess even they don't want to say fuck or anything like that, which I understand, But
if it's PG-13, they can only say it like 3 times.
3 times or something, like 2 or 3.
Yeah. So while they're on this mission, an RV trip and whatever, they finally come across Scandal and Vandal. Vandal.
Scandal and Vandal.
Yeah, Scandal and Knockout, rather.
Yeah.
And they're chilling, like, in their house. She's in the hot tub. She gets out of the hot tub.
Gets out, yeah.
You get a nip slip.
Ooh.
And then they're basically intruded by Deadshot and the whole Suicide Squad to discover this...
Is that point?
Get out of hell free card. Because they have it. They stole it.
Well, and then, right. And then, which end up with their dad, and then... Also, you find out...
Well, and then while they're there with Scandal and Knockout, the Suicide Squad, Vandal Savage and his, like, SWAT team force or whatever they are also arrive there at the same time. So now it becomes, like, a 3-way dance, so to speak. And it turns into Suicide Squad versus, like, Vandal's force team or whatever. And...
There's also another group that wants it. Which is you can say, led by Zoom, who wants the card, like, badly, and you really don't know why, and you find out, like, even after they were trying to get the card, like, something's up with him, and then you find out.
Well, yeah, but
later something else.
Well, I want to set that up by when they're all in Vandal and Knockout's like house, and they're all arriving there.
Right. Well, that's later on. Yeah.
What?
That was later on, right? Towards the end of that movie, wasn't that part?
Well, this part we're talking about now is the same scene.
Okay, go on.
Like where they both arrive at Vandal's place, you get the nip slip, and then Deadshot ends up with the get out of hell free card, and Vandal is kind of get it, and then they're in the elevator. And he's like, look, I'll give it to you, blah, blah, blah.
Let us go?
Yeah, if you let us go. So he tosses the card.
And they shoot.
And then he goes down the elevator, they light up the thing.
Right.
And Vandal kills
Right.
Scandal's girlfriend Knockout.
Yeah.
The Green Wonder Woman girl.
Or almost kills her. Because remember, she's like in the hospital or whatever.
Well, he shoots her in the head.
Yeah,
you think she's dead.
You think she's dead, and then you see,
and then we go into, and then you find out.
Well, then right, and then, of course, Scandal gets pissed off, and basically gives away where her dad is, so they can get the card.
Yeah.
But before that, you find out that Dr. Fate. They need to find Dr. Fate, so they find this guy who was betraying him, and they find him at a strip club. So that's the first thing. They find him at a strip club.
So that's before all this stuff happens.
Correct.
Yeah. So
that's when you meet the other people trying to get it too.
Yeah. So so to tie this all up to make it less confusing, Banshee and Blockbuster want the card. They're kind of teaming up with Zoom.
Zoom, who's in charge. And then later on, you find out Zoom is promising them to change their history.
Well, to get the timeline.
Their timeline. But they're all after the Dr. Fate guy. But the Dr. Fate guy is not Dr. Fate anymore. You find out that now he is a stripper.
He's a male stripper.
He's a male stripper.
They discover on the RV trip or whatever.
Right. They see that he's there, and then I guess he knows Banshee.
He knows where the card is and everything.
Right, but he knows Banshee. He knows Banshee because he was fighting her as the Dr. Fate, and supposedly he's like, oh, she likes me or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So then nothing happens between them. But then anyway, back to the strip club, he sees her and freaks out, and I guess that's when Harley and them oh, there he is, and so they got to fight off that big dude. I forgot the big dude's name. Blockbuster and Banshee, and then Zoom comes in.
Yeah.
And then they end up getting the Dr. Fate guy, and they end up leaving and escaping, and that's when Deadshot's shooting, because I guess Flash is running after them, and he kind of stops and he's kind of he's asking questions okay, he's that's weird. He's he would have got here and beat us all up already. But anyway,
well, yeah. So on the RV thing, they have Dr. Fate or whatever.
Right. So and then they end up getting away from Banshee and them and escaping.
And while they're escaping, that's when Zoom is trying to chase them down,
and he kind of slows down.
Yeah, and they're what the hell? He should have knocked us all out by now.
Right.
Yeah.
So that puts into question. We'll find out later on. So now they found a place to basically chill out for a little bit and find out and talk to this guy and find out, hey, what are we after? What is this? That we're going after, and they talk to him, and they find out that he was one of the Dr. Fates, and he ended up
losing his power,
for being stupid. He was bored at home, and he went out. He went out to the club, and ended up finding
Scandal. I think stole his
find out Knockout.
Oh yeah.
And Knockout
tricked
him. He thought he was going to take her home and have some fun with. And he thought things were weird before that when he's okay, his friend.
Dancer.
Excuse my pun, but the Butch one, which he says in the movie, he's is looking at my stuff, and he kind of gets, suspicious on her, and Knockout's making out with him, and he hold up, and she tries to steal something. And he runs over and he gets his butt kicked, and she takes the card.
Yeah. And then so then that happens before the infiltration at the apartment, and that happens before.
Right. Right. That's when they find out about what they're trying to get is this card.
Yeah.
And so
after we got the RV thing with Dr. Fate.
Right.
Maybe a threesome. They discover that they just want the card. Then Deadshot and Suicide Squad discover that she's got the card, so they go over there and try to get the card. That's when Savage comes in, Vandal Savage comes in, and they try to get the card. End up having a little shoot off. Deadshot throws the card out of the elevator, And now Amanda Waller's a little bit pissed because they had it, then they didn't have it, then they had it, then they didn't have it, and they sort of get separated.
Like, I'm lucky I didn't blow all your heads off. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
So then they stop at this like a gas station or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And Killer Frost decides to go to the bathroom by herself. Right. So they all go into this restaurant or whatever it is, gas station.
Yeah. Like rest area.
Yeah, rest area. And in the bathroom, that's when Banshee and Blockbuster come in and kidnap Killer Frost, so to speak.
Right. Yep.
Because they know they have the card.
Right.
So they're like, yo, where's the card at? And that's when we sort of get more detail about Zoom, how he's running the whole thing, and
but
get more.
They don't want to kill Killer Frost. They want her to help. Help them get the card, and that's when you find out about Zoom.
Well, yeah. So then Zoom goes on this elaborated story about, why he's slowing down and this and that. And he doesn't tell us the whole story, but he gives us like little hints and details and says, look, if you promise to help me, I'll take that little bomb out of your head and we could, do this.
Yeah.
So as he's doing it, he's vibrating her head super fast, like.
So he can go in it and take it out.
So like it pops the bomb out.
Crazy.
And it literally like drains all of his energy.
Yeah.
And like throughout the movie, he's just getting like more and more tired.
Right.
And so then Killer Frost helps Zoom and Blockbuster and Banshee, and they discover Deadshot and the Suicide Squad discover where Killer Frost is at. Amanda Waller gives them a tip. They go to the house and basically say, yo, she's in that house, go get her. They go into the house, she's not there.
It's a setup.
The house explodes.
He figures it out, yeah. And then Bronze Tiger took the brunt of the blow.
Yeah, Bronze Tiger gets
like
fucked
down
up pretty
for the
good.
count. Yeah, so they got him on another bus. They got him on another bus, or on their bus, and he's all beat up, and so they have him into there, and they're going to find what's his name? They're going to find the card.
Yeah, so now they're going to find Killer Frost and the card because now Zoom has it.
Yeah. Not Zoom's still here, but Zoom's on his way to get it.
Zoom's on his way to get it, and that sets us up for sort of the final couple battles here, where basically they all end up in the same room, with the card.
So Frost ends up, I guess, getting it, or like Frost ends up like putting everybody in ice.
Yeah, she freezes everybody.
Right, except for like I think Freeze too, but then she like backstabs Suicide Squad and puts them in ice.
Yeah.
And I believe like Boomerang, he has or something to that extent.
With this card, it's basically like playing hot potato with the card. Like one group has it, then the next group has it, then the next group has it. Again, we're jumping around here. Don't quote us on everything. We're getting wordy, but basically they end up in a whole room with the card. Zoom has the card. Killer Frost freezes everybody, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and all these things in the room, and Zoom has the card, and this is where the story gets like twists and turns and juicy and all this other stuff. While Amanda Waller's like, what the hell's going on? I thought you had the card. They're in this room. Killer Frost freezes all of them, and Zoom goes in to tell us and show us why he needs to get out of hell free card.
Right, and Amanda Waller's on her way there to get the card.
Yeah. So, again, this is all happening at like once. This is where like everything comes to fruition in the middle, and all the teams are there.
Right.
And basically, Vandal finds out where they're at, and then you have another battle, and they almost. We didn't even mention the pig guy.
Well, the pig guy, isn't he there to help? I was kind of confused about his thing too. He's there to help like reconstruct somebody. Remember, because he does surgery?
Yeah, so shit. We didn't even talk about this. So
it's just a little,
Well, there's a pig doctor who's like the greatest doctor, pretty much, and like he could sew people up. He could do amputations, and basically Vandal gets the card, and we discover that he had the pig sort of open him up.
Right.
And put the card in him.
And in him. That's right.
And that's when everybody gets in the same room.
And then he tries to take out, and then he ends up getting it out of him. I forget who ends up getting it out of him.
Flash.
Flash does, right?
Yeah, because he goes, what's their name? They freeze his body, they lower his temperature, so that when they pull it out. Because he put it in like a specific spot, so
he can't pull it out.
Because then
Frost freezes him, and he takes it out. Right.
Yeah, because he had the pig doctor basically put it in a spot where if you take it out, he's dead. And that uses up the card.
That's right.
So it's like...
But in that way, kind of like kept him alive, being in the cold, and take out the card where he
so
can't
he wouldn't die right away.
Correct, yeah.
And, so then Zoom gets the card. Frost freezes... This is where Frost freezes everybody, sorry. And Zoom... then goes on to explain to Deadshot, while Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and all those guys are frozen. He basically... This is the part of the movie where it's like very confusing and stuff, because the whole time of the movie, I'm calling Zoom Reverse Flash.
Right.
And I'm like, that's not Zoom, that's Reverse Flash. So, just to summarize... Again, if you know, or if you could explain this better...
Let us know.
Let us know, because Reverse Flash and Zoom are basically the same person.
Yeah.
But they're just called different things in different stories and different timelines.
In different timelines, right. In different dimensions.
Yeah, and the only way that I could even compare it to is maybe compare it to like the Robins, like Damian Wayne, Jason Todd, all that shit, Arkham Knight. And so... while Zoom, who is Reverse Flash, is talking to Deadshot, he reveals why he needs the card.
Right.
And you get a flashback. He lifts up his Zoom helmet
his mask or whatever, his suit.
His suit.
His head part of the suit.
Yeah, his head part, and reveals...
There's a hole.
Yeah, there's a big hole in his head.
There's a big hole in his forehead.
And... almost a line that could make you cringe or whatever. He basically just summarized. He goes, "It was Batman."
Yeah,
and where you're just like, "What?"
What?
Like, yeah, like, holy shit. So then they flash back to Flashpoint Paradox, where Batman shoots him in the head from behind.
From behind, yeah,
and basically kills him.
Yeah, but
that Batman, as you discover, is from Flashpoint, as you know, is Thomas Wayne.
Right.
And the Flash, Reverse Flash, Zoom, whatever you want to call him, the minute he has that hole in his head, he freezes time in a way. And uses all...
He runs real quick, right before, it's I guess his opening. And he runs real quick to basically... another
dimension or whatever. Correct. Earth, whatever.
Right.
And when he reveals that he's got a huge... Now we're present time. He reveals he's got a huge hole in his head. He tells that... They show the scene.
Right,
they
show it's opening really, really slowly, but the hole is going bigger.
Yeah. And so basically this whole movie is happening in a split second.
Right.
That he got shot by Batman. Which is... just,
insane.
Mind-blowing in
Mind-blowing,
itself. Yeah. But it's continues the continuity from Flashpoint, Paradox, and all that other stuff.
Right.
So all these movies tie in together. And then Zoom has the card. Killer Frost is still alive. He explains the story. Killer Frost turns on Zoom, freezes him, takes the card, and starts to leave. And then Amanda Waller is like, fuck that.
Well... Boomerang tries to get him, and then that's when what's his name comes out and helps him.
No, because that's after what's her name kills Killer Frost for the card. Because then Boomerang takes the card and ends up leaving the room or whatever.
Right, she ends up blowing up. Yeah. So and then I guess Boomerang ends up taking it. And, that's when Waller's like, do you have the card? He's like, I'm on it. And then he's like, okay.
And then
he stops Boomerang.
And then who stops Boomerang?
Bronze Tiger.
Yeah, Bronze Tiger.
And
they get into a nice little fight
or whatever, yeah.
And while that's going on, he drops the card.
And then doesn't I forgot who gets it.
Zoom gets it, doesn't
Zoom gets it, yes. But then like he shoots Zoom in this time, so it kills him here, so that automatically brings him back to time, and he dies right there.
Yeah.
So, and then, of course, he has the card, and like, what do you call it? And then he goes, I guess, right before Amanda Waller comes, and I guess he talks to Bronze Tiger, who's like basically on his last.
Yeah, now he's like on the ground, he's bleeding, he's messed up.
And he's messed up, and he's like, oh, what was your wife's name again? Because that was like his whole arc was like, he's basically fighting, because after a bunch of bad people killed his wife, he turned bad or whatever. And so he's dying, and he's like, oh, what was your wife's name? Blah, blah, blah. And he gives him the card.
Yeah.
So he can die and, see his wife or whatever. Or go straight to heaven.
Yeah.
So... because then there's another scene which we didn't go over. It was kind of on the side where Deadshot kind of goes on his own to see his daughter.
Well, yeah. So like,
and then Bronze Tiger goes over and like, what the hell are you doing? And explains to him, hey, we all have our situations. It kind of gives it a little heart moment, kind of like, and he explains to him about his wife and blah blah blah. And he's like, I have family situations as well. Blah blah blah. Anyway, so he kind of Deadshot remembers that. Gives him the card. Card, I guess, works.
Yeah,
card
works.
And then Deadshot goes, I believe he goes, oh, wow, okay, that worked.
Yeah.
Or, to that extent, he's like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then he kind of just walks away.
He picks up the card, and then Waller comes in, and
she's like, where? Yeah.
She's like, why is it cold? I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, I don't know. So and then he like leaves, and you're like, all right. So then you find him at the end. He meets up with his daughter, and he finally meets her, and he's walking to her, and then like it goes blank, and then you hear a poof, like an explosion, and who knows? Is it his head? Is it what?
Yeah.
But it leaves as that, but pretty good movie overall.
Yeah. So
excuse us as we like.
Anything
went all around.
Yeah, anything with
the
comics and whatever, we're trying to keep the the kayfabe alive with it and all that good stuff.
As you know, in comics, nobody stays dead.
It gets tricky. I mean, even just talking about it now, we're confusing ourselves. But yeah, just to summarize everything for Suicide Squad, it's basically about a card, a hot potato between groups. Amanda Waller's gets her hands on the card. The Deadshot sneakily uses up the card so she doesn't know. And there's an underlying storyline where he wants to just be back with his daughter. And that intertwines with everything. And again, he ends up at the end picking his daughter up from school.
Right, because Waller, they're like,
because Waller,
we didn't explain it, but she tells him, hey, you get this done, you're out.
Yeah, like she could lift his sentence and make him a free man.
Right.
Which we didn't go over, but whatever.
But yeah, that was in the meeting before they went off in the RV.
Yeah. So he picks up his girl from school. The screen goes black. Explosion. Credits. What the hell happened? Yeah.
Credits. What?
Yeah. So if we got a little wordy reviewing those movies, we apologize, but I mean, you try it. You try to explain everything that happened.
It was a decent movie. I liked it. What do you think?
I thought Suicide Squad, it actually was better than I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to lie. Because sometimes when there's a lot of characters and like the whole Reverse Flash Zoom thing,
that was cool.
That's one thing I don't like about comics is they they could just make up, oh no, that happened on Earth 75,000.
They
could literally get away with murder doing that stuff.
Right.
And
exactly.
As you said, nobody ever really dies. They all come back
comics, somehow,
or it's like another storyline
somehow, or like a different arc.
Yeah. So, but in comparing the two movies, I think Batman Ninja was amazing. I liked it.
Yes.
I'm going to say it was my favorite animated movie so far. Suicide Squad was good. rated R.
Yeah.
Got a titty pop. Got a got a couple curse words in there.
Yep.
Some blood.
And I mean, I thought it was really good. I liked the first Suicide animated movie better, but this one was really good as well. I enjoyed it. A lot of action and a lot of
in both movies, you get a lot of characters. You get
exactly.
Characters.
You get a bunch of characters, for the DC universe.
Yeah. So.
I have some more.
Yeah. Couple tidbits at the end here.
Here's some more. Actually, you can see some of the DC animation movies on Hulu.
Yeah, which we just discovered a little while ago.
Some of them are on here. Here's a list of movies that I enjoy and I think are really good and you should check out. Like Batman Under the Red Hood. It's a very good movie. Batman Assault on Arkham, which is the first Suicide Squad, right? Which we watched, which was really good.
Which is good.
Batman vs. Robin, Justice League vs. Teen Titans, Teen Titans: The Judas Contract, which we saw and was really good, and you enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
The Judas one, yeah. Justice League Dark, which we also saw, which was really good.
I like that a lot.
Which is one of the 4 rated R
animated
movies. Yep. Son of Batman, Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox. Which is
basically you should watch that before you watch any animated movie.
Pretty much, so watch that
because they continue it and they actually keep the continuity.
Right, which is actually on Hulu. The Flashpoint Paradox is actually on Hulu, and some of the other ones I've mentioned. So check it out.
Yeah, so check them out quick before they take them down.
Yes, I don't know how long they're going to be up there. I don't know if it's like a Netflix thing where like after a few months they'll take it out. I don't know.
And also, just quick, I forgot to mention, the Batman Ninja thing, I was just curious, I looked up if they had any toys. And on Amazon, I found out that July 31st, they're coming out with the Samurai Batman, and August 31st, they're coming out with Lord Joker.
And how much are they?
They're going to be $60, which is,
not bad, but
if you get a good, real,
it's a good
action
size,
figure,
and it's probably like...
Yeah, I mean, I've bought, Mortal Kombat figures...
And do you know who makes the figures? I think it's like a Japanese guy or something. Or
I don't know the exact. I don't know.
I don't think it's a regular. From when I saw the picture, I don't think it's like a regular.
it'll be
the regular figures.
It's really cool looking. It's badass. It's dope. I mean, I might get the Joker one now that I think about it.
It looks really detailed and such. So
it's like a good, really good replica of the movie.
Yeah.
But I think anything else to add? 2 good movies. Check them out.
That's it. Check them out. Check out the other ones for the DC animated universe.
Yeah,
you can say.
Yeah. So that about wraps it up. I think.
All in all, pretty good.
Yeah. So all in
all, check them out.
I think today was a good day. And
check them out. Make your own review.
Yep, that's right.
See if you like it or not.
Yeah, once again, follow our Twitters at All in All Podcast, one word. You'll get our personal Twitters from there. We have started Twitch, so check out the Twitch page. It's just twitch.tv/Mac10Gator, which is the same as my Twitter handle. Or if you want to play with Jamie on PlayStation, it's JFC27. Yep. And we will be twitching, hopefully once or twice a week, along with the podcast, which is coming out every Monday. So, just continue to watch it, like it, comment, again, interact with us.
Yes.
And, so for Mikey Gator.
Jamie.
I said all in all, today was a good day.
Peace out.